Okay, so let's discuss identifiable intangible assets. So, ito yung examples ng ating mga identifiable intangible assets. Patent, we have trademark, copyright, franchise, leasehold, licensing, a customer list, and computer software. Now, let's start with patent. Yeah, so, very common tong patent, no? So, yung patent, if acquired no, by a separate acquisition, no, meaning purchase, then the cost of the patent is, ito siya, the purchase price, no? Okay? Import duties, non-refundable purchase taxes, I have discussed this one already, and any directly attributable cost of uh, preparing the asset for the intended use. So, remember, if the asset is internally developed, yung cost naman niya includes licensing, no? Registering to the patent authority, and other related legal fees no, in securing the patent right. Yan. So, ito yung mga tinatawag na mga legal cost when you internally. Kapag ikaw kasi nag-develop talaga ng patent, kapag na-develop na siya, di ba, ikaw man yung uh, register dyan to the patent authority. So, basically, the cost of the patent for that matter is yung binayad mo, mga legal fees, no? Licensing, and other related legal fees. So, as a rule, lahat ng related research and development costs shall be expensed as incurred. Okay? So, tandaan natin to. This is very important, no? Lahat daw, as a rule, all, okay, sabi niya, all related research and development, meaning R&D. So, itong R&D, research and development cost, this is something to do with uh, internally generated intangible assets, no? So, again, as a rule, lahat daw ng research and development cost shall be expensed as incurred. However, okay, from the time na yung patent applicable or application has been made, okay, kapag meron ng patent application that has been made, no, lahat ng engineering and consulting cost to develop the patent and the cost of design, no, cost of design change, no, pag pina-change mo yung design, required, na ni-require ng patent authority shall be capitalized as cost of the patent. Yeah. So, tandaan mo lang na before mo ni-register yung patent sa patent authority, all research and development cost, no? Again, all research and development cost before the patent has been applied, no, or registered sa patent authority shall be expensed. Pero from the moment na nag-apply na or in-apply na for registration yung patent, lahat ng kapag merong mga engineering and consulting cost, no, para i-develop yung patent or yung cost para i-change yung design as required by the patent authority shall now be capitalized as cost of the patent. So yung rason dyan is that at this point in time, the patent is now technically and commercially feasible kasi parang accepted na siya for registration by the patent authority. Okay, due to the fact na meron na silang pina-change or pina-alter or modify na design ng patent. So meaning, at this point, no, kapag may application na to the patent authority, so the patent is now technically and commercially feasible. So, cost of litigation, no, what if may patent ka tapos uso yan kasi 'di ba sa mga intangible asset yung pakasuhan kasi meron daw patent infringement, meaning ginaya mo yung technology or process na nakapatent sa other company. So, pakasuhan ka sa other company, no? For that matter. So, ano ba yung treatment natin? Pambayad natin sa lawyers, di ba? Para i-defend yung ating patent. So, accordingly, legal fees, no, and other cost of successfully prosecuting or defending a patent shall be expensed. So meaning lahat ng legal fees, no, na binayad mo para i-defend yung patent mo, panalo man yung kaso na yan or talo, ay i-expense yung cost of litigation. Again, all legal fees paid para ipaglaban, di ba, or defend yung patent mo in the court, okay, whether successful man yung prosecution na yan or unsuccessful yung prosecution na yan, lahat ng legal fees doon ay ini-expense. So, ano yung rason? So, the reason kasi is that yung litigation na yun, it merely maintains, no, rather than increase or enhance the future benefits from the asset. So, pinaglaban nga, no, or dinefend mo nga yung patent mo, no, sa korte. Pero, pag nanalo ka, hindi, it doesn't mean na tataas yung life ng patent mo or i-increase yung fair value niya. So, it merely maintains kung ano yung, let's say, original life ng patent mo, no? Yung cost ng patent. It merely maintains those matters. So, basically, the cost of litigation is ini-expense, no? Rather than kinakapitalize. So, ini-expense sila lahat. So, amortization of patent, no? So, the amortization of patent, no? Ito yung mga rules na dapat tandaan. So, the original cost shall be amortized over the, okay, so i-compare mo yung legal life or useful life ng patent, whichever is shorter, i-amortize the patent over that period. Hindi naman kasi, for example, yung useful life nga niya, 30 years, pero legally, pwede mo lang siya magamit for 20 years. O di, after 20 years, dapat, tapos na yung paggamit mo ng patent. Kahit na useful pa siya for another 10 years. Okay? So, whichever is shorter. So, if that's the case, 20 years natin i-amortize yung patent. For example, if the legal life of the patent is 20 years pero kaya mo lang siyang gamitin for 10 years, what's the point of the 20-year legal life kung 10 years mo lang pala siya magamit, no, or makapag-serve, no, sa company mo. So, whichever is shorter, okay, between the legal life and the useful life. Now, kung meron kang competitive patent na iyong in-acquire para i-protect yung original patent mo, then the cost of the competitive patent shall be amortized over the remaining life of the old patent. For example, originally, meron kang patent for technology no, na-discover mo. Now, let's say after 5 years, no, na meron ka ng original patent na yun for the said technology, kumuha ka ng competitive patent para protektahan, no, for any litigation yung original patent mo. Now, yung competitive patent mo, i-amortize mo yung competitive patent mo over the remaining life of the old patent. Kasi yung purpose lang naman kasi yung ng competitive patent na in-acquire mo is para lang to protect yung original patent. So, kung wala yung original patent, then there is nothing to protect with, di ba? Okay, so walang competitive patent. So, meaning, yung the usefulness of your competitive patent only emanates or comes from the original patent. So, kung meron kang competitive patent, i-amortize mo siya to protect the original patent. I-amortize mo yung competitive patent mo over the remaining life of the old patent. Now, if related, iba naman tong related patent. So, if meron ka namang related patent na in-acquire para i-extend yung life ng old patent, ayan, so para pataasin pa no, yung usability ng old patent mo, kumuha ka ng related patent, then the cost of the related patent is i-amortize mo siya over the the amortized cost of the old patent shall be amortized over the extended life. Okay? So, for example, meron kang old patent for a certain technology. Now, mag-i-end na siya after 5 years. So, yung ginawa mo is gusto mo pa siya i-extend for another 10 years. So, yung ginawa mo, kumuha ka ng related patent para yung 5 years na remaining useful life ng old or original patent mo, mag-i-extend pa siya for another 10 years. No? So, kumuha ka ng related patent. So, pag kuha mo ng related patent, if it so happen na naging successful, no, at naging extended nga yung useful life ng old patent mo for another 10 years or additional 10 years, then yung related patent and the old patent, the related and the old patent shall be amortized, no, over the extended life. Yan. Now, what if pagkuha mo sa related patent, hindi nag-extend, no? So, the extension did not happen, no, for the life of the old patent for some reason. Yung new patent mo shall be amortized over its own life. Okay, yung own life niya kasi nga hindi naman nag-extend yung life ng old patent. So if ibang scenario, sa letter C, itong first paragraph, ibang scenario sa second one. Kasi sa first paragraph, pagkuha mo ng related patent, extend yung life ng old patent. So the related and the old patent shall be amortized over the extended life. Sa second paragraph, pagkuha mo ng related patent, no extension happen for the life of the old patent. So with that, the related patent shall be amortized over its own life, and the cost of the old patent shall be amortized over the remainder of its life. So, balik kanya-kanya na yung amortization nila. Ayan. So, acquired patent. If the patent is acquired by an entity from an original patentee, the cost shall be amortized over the remaining legal life or useful life, whichever is shorter. Yan. So, no-brainer yan. For example, a product protected by the patent is expected to be a source of net cash inflows for the patentee's remaining legal life of 15 years. However, the entity has a commitment from a third party to purchase the patent in 5 years for 60% of the fair value of the patent at the date it was acquired, and the entity intends to sell the patent in 5 years. So if that's the case, then the patent shall be amortized over the 5-year life, over the 5-year useful life to the entity with a residual value equal to the present value of the 60%. Ayan. Of the fair value. So, ipe-present value mo yung residual value. In this case, merong residual value yung patent kasi merong entity committed to purchase the patent at the end of the 5-year period for 60% of its present value. So, the residual value must be discounted, must be discounted para makuha yung present value of the residual value. Okay? Ayan. So, let's illustrate. So, si entity, nag-develop siya ng patent. So, the cost is 200 and 120 yung 120,000 naman yung na-spend niya para ipa-license. So, nag-develop siya, the cost is 200. The registration fee is 120. Okay? Para ipa-lisensya or to register the patent sa patent authority. So, and also the cost of models and drawings that the company that accompany the registration on January 1, 2016. So that's all in all 120,000. So the patent will be useful for the entire legal life of 20 years. So again, the legal life of an asset of a patent is 20 years. Now, on January 1, 2018, the entity paid 180,000 para to attorney fee in connection with a successful defense of the patent, so meaning litigation cost. Pagka 2019 January 1 naman, the entity purchased a competing patent of 170,000 para i-protect yung original patent. Yan. So, the competing patent has 18 years to run from the date of acquisition. Now, pagka December 31, the product covered by the patent was withdrawn from sale. Okay, sabi daw ng government because of potential hazard to the product or in the product. So, yung entry natin dyan would be una, research and development. So, ito, this is an internally generated patent kasi dinevelop niya. So, yung cost, 200,000 to develop the patent is an expense, research and development cost, debit, research and development expense, credit cash for 200. Now, yung 120 naman na pinaregister mo yung binayad to register the patent, yan yung cost ng patent. Okay, registration or legal fees, So that's debit ka patent to recognize the patent as an asset, credit cash for 120. Yan. So, i-amortize natin siya accordingly. The patent is amortized over its legal life na, saan na ba yun? 20 years. Ito, 20 years. So, i-amortize natin siya over 20 years, starting 2016. So, in 2016, the amortization is this one. So, 120 divide 20 years. 6,000 yung amortization every year. In 2017 as well, debit amortization of patent as an expense to ha. Yung amortization of patent expense yan. Credit patent. So, aside sa credit na patent, pwede, instead patent, pwede mong gamitin yung credit to accumulated amortization. The same naman yung effect. In this case, yung ginawa lang niya is instead na nag-credit ng accumulated amortization, nag-credit siya ng patent. So to record naman the cost of successful defense of the patent, remember, cost of litigation, whether successful or unsuccessful, is an expense. Okay? Reason kasi cost of litigation does not extend the life of the patent. It merely maintains its original useful life. So expense siya. So debit ka lang legal expense, credit cash. Remember, regardless of whether successful or unsuccessful, expense siya. Now, bumili ka ng patent pa pala at amortization for 2018. So 17 man to last. So in 2018, the same debit amortization of patent, credit patent for 6,000. To record naman the acquisition of a competing patent on January 1, 2019. So sabi dito that on January 2019, the entity purchased a competing patent for 170 in order to protect the original patent. Remember, si competing patent will be amortized over the remaining useful life of the old patent. Now, ilang years na ba on January 1, 2019 yung old patent? Binili siya 2016. So, 2016, 2017, 2018. So, 3 years na siya from January 1, 2016 to January 1, 2018. So, 20 years man yung useful life. So, 20 minus 3 years, starting January 1, 2019, 17 years na lang yung remaining useful life ng patent. So, si 170,000 will also be amortized over the remaining useful life of the original patent na 17 years. So, again, that's 20 years minus nag-expire na January 1, 2016 to December 31, 2018. So, that's 3 years. So, 20 minus 3, 17 years na lang yung remaining useful life ng old patent. So, again, the competing patent will be amortized over the remaining useful life of the old patent as 17 years. So to record the purchase of the competing patent, that's debit patent, credit, cash for 170,000. To record naman the amortization of the patent for 2019, so yung original patent, amortization of the original patent, remember, walang changes, that's 6,000 every year. So 6,000 plus, okay, yung remaining is, yung competing patent na 170,000 yung cost, divide mo siya by the remaining useful life of the original patent na 17 years. So, yung amortization of the competing patent is 10,000 every year. So, that's 6 plus 10, that's 16,000 yung amortization expense natin for 2019. So, here is your entry. So, the competing, to write off naman the patent during December 31, 2019, remember, di ba sabi dito that, balikan natin yung statement niya. Sabi niya, on December 31, 2019, after 4 years, 16, 17, 18, 19, the product covered by the patent was withdrawn from sale under a government order kasi nga may potential hazard daw yung product. So, kapag withdraw yung product na covered by the patent, meaning the patent is already no longer of use, So yung remaining carrying amount of the patent will also have to be what? Realized or recorded as loss. Ayan. So gawa lang tayo ng T account. Ito. So yung beginning balance ng patent, di ba 120 yung beginning balance in 2016. Nadagdagan pagka January 1, 2019 ng competing patent na 170. So yung total cost is 290. So amortization in 2016 to 2018 is 6,000. And pagka 2019, so ito yun, pagka 2019, that's 16,000 yung amortization. So ito. So 666, that's 18,000 plus 16, that's 34,000. Okay. So 290 yung cost, yung amortized value niya is 34 lang. Ito 666 and 16. Okay? So, yung mangyayari is that meron pa siyang remaining carrying amount na 256. Dahil nga, winidraw na yung product related to the patent, so yung 256 will have to be written off na din as loss. So to write off that, that's debit patent write-off as an expense, credit patent, para ma-zero out na yung balance ng patent natin, no, as of December 31, 2019. Ayan, 256,000. Okay. So to continue, yan, so impairment of patent. Remember, dahil ang patent ay in-amortize, then tinitest siya, hindi siya tinitest for impairment annually, at least annually. So what they have to do is, dahil nga meron siyang finite useful life and ina-amortize siya, then tinitest lang natin siya for impairment whenever may indication na ang patent ay impaired. Whenever may indication, no, of impairment. To illustrate, January 1, 2016, an entity acquired a patent for 2.4 million. So the patent has a useful life of 10 years and remaining legal life of 12 years. Pagka December 31, 2016, after 1 year, there is an indication na ang patent may be impaired. So the patent is expected to generate cash flows of 300,000 per year for the remaining useful life of 9 years. So yung discount rate, ito yung kinukuha natin dito is the value in use in getting the recoverable amount para ma-compare natin sa carrying amount kung impaired ba talaga. So the present value of an ordinary annuity of 1 for 9 periods is dahil straight yung uniform yung cash flow, so yung gamitin natin is present value of ordinary annuity. So 9% at 9 for 9 years. So that's 6, no, yung kanyang present value factor. So gawa tayo ng entry to record the purchase of the patent. So debit ka lang patent, binili niya for 2.4. So debit patent, so this is a patent acquired on separate acquisition, meaning purchase. So the cost is, the initial measurement is cost, purchase price, no, which is 2.4. So debit ka patent, credit cash for 2.4. So yung useful life niya is 10 years, while the legal life is 12 years. So amortize siya over the period, whichever is shorter. So 10 yung period na gamitin to amortize. So 2.4 divide 10, that's 240,000 amortization every year. So debit amortization of patent, credit patent for 240,000. Now, compare natin siya with its recoverable amount, no? So the recoverable amount of the patent is the value in use. Wala mang fair value, so value in use yung gamitin natin. That's 300,000 na cash flow times 6. Ito. So 300,000 times 6, that's value in use. The recoverable amount is 1.8 million. While the carrying amount of the patent is 2.4 minus itong amortization na 240. So 2.4 minus 240, that's 2,160. That's the carrying amount, no, on December 31, 2018. The recoverable amount, which is the value in use, is 1.8. So in this case, impaired yung patent kasi yung recoverable amount niya is lower than its carrying amount. So merong impairment loss for 360,000. Yan. So impaired yung asset for 360,000. So the entry is debit impairment loss, credit patent for 360,000. Yan. Now, pagka 2016 pala siya impaired, binili January 1, 2016, na nag-record ng impairment December 31, 2016. So, di ba yung original useful life niya is 10 years. So, in January 1, 2016, pagka December 31, 2016, naging 9 na lang kasi 10 minus 1 na nag-expire. So, yung amortization na starting 2017 is magbase na siya sa ito, its new carrying amount. Diba ito? 2.4 minus amortization na 240. That's 2,160 minus Impairment, no, 360. So, yung bagong carrying amount niya is 1.8. So, dito na tayo magbe-base ng ating amortization starting 2017. So, that's gonna be 1.8 million divide remaining is for life na 9. Kasi 10 years yon minus 1 year na nag-expire which is in 2016. So, 9 years yung remaining. So, mag-base na tayo sa amortization in 2017 sa 1.8 bagong carrying amount niya. So, the amortization every year, no, starting 2017 is 200,000. Okay, so let's proceed with trademarks. Ayan. So, ito namang trademark is a symbol, no, sign, slogan, or name, no, used to mark a product to distinguish it from other product. Ayan. So, the other term for trademark is trade name, brand name, and other. They are interchangeably used. So, sabi ng US GAAP, the trademark is a market-related intangible asset. Kasi nga, it has something to do with branding ng products. So, when a trademark is purchased, the cost includes the purchase price plus cost directly attributable to the acquisition. So, general provision yan or concept. So, when a trademark is internally generated naman, the cost includes expenditures, no, required para ma-establish yung trademark. So, yung cost na ginamit, no, to establish the trademark, which includes, no, filing fees, no, with that trademark na authority. So, pagpa-register, no, registry fees and other expenses incurred in securing the trademark, such as design cost, pagpa-design sa trademark, and also, ayan. So, if the trademark is successfully prosecuted naman or defended, no, in a litigation, so the litigation cost is still an outright expense. So, kagaya lang to sa patent, no? Kapag dinipensahan yung patent, no, litigation, the litigation cost is still an expense regardless kung successful man yan or unsuccessful. Basta litigation costs are expensed when incurred. So, sa patent man yan or mapa-trade mark. Ayan. So, the same reason kasi yung cost, no, to successfully defend the trademark does not increase, no, the life of the patent. It merely maintains, no, its original life. So, basically, ang trademark ay mayroong, according to RA 8293, Intellectual Property Code of the Philippines, trademark has a legal life of 10 years. Pero subject siya for renewal for a period of 10 years each. So meaning after 10 years, pwede mo pa siyang i-renew for another 10 years and for another 10 years and for another 10 years. So with that, it renders trademark as having an infinite useful life. So, kasi nga, although meron siyang legal life na 10 years, pwede mo man siya i-renew every year. At the end of the 10th year, pwede mo pa siya i-renew, ayun. So, again, it makes trademark as having an indefinite useful life. Ano nga yung treatment kapag may indefinite useful life ang isang intangible asset? Okay? Ano nga yun? Hindi ina-amortize yung kanyang cost. Pero, tinitest for impairment annually and whenever there is an indication that an asset is impaired or that the asset is impaired. Ayan, so remember that. So to illustrate, trademark with indefinite useful life. No? The trademark has a remaining legal life of 5 years pero renewable siya every 10 years at little cost. So the acquiring entity intends to renew the trademark continuously and evidence supports the entity's ability to do so. So meaning, yung intention niya is to renew the trademark indefinitely. So an analysis of market competition and environmental trend, no, provides evidence na yung trademark product shall generate net cash inflows for an indefinite period, meaning in an unforeseeable future. So in this case, the trademark is having an infinite useful life, no? Because it will have an inflows indefinitely, cash inflow indefinitely. Ayan. So another illustration. So the trademark was regarded as having an indefinite useful life when it was acquired because the trademark product was expected to generate net cash inflows indefinitely. Sabi dito, however, unexpected competition that has recently entered the market and will reduce future sales of the product. So management estimates that the net cash inflows generated by the product will be 20% less than the foreseeable future. So management expects that the product will continue to generate net cash inflows indefinitely for the reduced amount lang. Okay? So reduced amount nga lang. 20% less na kasi yung sales niya because of the competition. So the trademark is still regarded as having an indefinite useful life kasi nga the trademark will continue to generate net cash inflows indefinitely. The trademark, in this case kasi nga merong infinite useful life, will have to be tested for impairment at least annually. So ito naman, example ng trademark na may finite useful life. So at the time of business combination, the acquiree had been producing a product line for 35 years now under a trademark. So at the acquisition date, the acquirer expected to continue producing the product line, and an analysis indicates that there is no limit to the period that the trademark would contribute to the net cash inflows. However, the trademark was not amortized by the consequently, the trademark was not amortized by the acquirer. Kasi nga, yung net cash inflows niya is to continue in the unforeseeable future. However, management has recently decided na yung production of the trademark product line will be discontinued after the next over the next 4 years. So kasi nga yung product line, yung trademark product line will discontinue for after 4 years. In this case, the trademark is naging meron na siyang useful life, no? Limited na yung useful life niya in this case, 4 years na lang. So in this case, kasi nga yung trademark is naging limited na yung useful life niya into 4 years, the carrying amount should be amortized over the remaining useful life of 4 years and immediately tested for impairment. Ayan. So trademark with finite useful life, the same. Kapag may finite useful life, is amortized at the end of each reporting period. However, the trademark with finite useful life is also tested for impairment, not annually, but whenever lang there is an indication that the impairment of at the end of the period is present, no? So kapag yung trademark naman ay may indefinite useful life, the same with patent, it shall not be amortized. So hindi ina-amortize, pero tested for impairment at least annually and whenever there is an indication na impaired yung trademark. So to illustrate, at the beginning of the current year, an entity acquired a trademark for 3 million. The trademark has a remaining useful life of, or legal life of 8 years. However, it is anticipated that a trademark would be routinely renewed in the future. So in this case, kasi nga routinely renewed in the future, the trademark is rendered to have or considered to have an indefinite life, thus hindi ina-amortize. So no amortization is required for a trademark. However, it shall be tested for impairment annually. So a trademark is expected to generate cash flows of 250,000 per year. So the appropriate discount rate is 10 years. So di ba ang cash to get the cash flow to get the present value of cash flows of a perpetuity is that's just the cash flows divided by the discount rate on the 10%. Ayan. So in this case, the value of the trademark is 3 million. Binili pala niya yung trademark for 3 million. Ayan. So debit trademark, credit cash for 3 million. Ayan. And then, yung fair value ng trademark natin is 250,000 na cash flow divided by 10%. Dinivide natin siya kasi that's how you get the fair value or the present value of cash flows indefinitely, or present value of an indefinite cash flows. Ayan. So 250 divide 10%. Yan yung present value niya. So 250 divide 10%, that's 250,000. Di ba yung value ng trademark natin is 3 million, hindi siya in-amortize kasi may indefinite useful life. So, i-compare mo lang siya, 3 million and yung 2.5 million na present value of cash flows or yung tinatawag na value in use. So, ito yung recoverable amount. Ito yung carrying amount. Mas maliit si recoverable amount. Kaya meron ng impairment loss for 500,000. So, to recognize that one or to record impairment loss, let's debit impairment loss, credit trademark for 500,000. Okay, and that ends our lecture on patent and trademark. So please answer the activities now sent through Facebook Messenger, and we will answer that one come Monday. Bye.